Hello and welcome to the finals of 1999 Pro Tour Chicago. I'm Randy Bueller. I'm here with Brian Hacker, and we're really looking forward to this championship match between Bob Maher Jr. on the right hand of your screen and Brian Davis on the left. I gotta tell you, the more I look at Bob Maher's deck, Brian, the more I like it. You can really tell that Bob has played this deck through multiple tournaments and really understands what's going on.
It's a very impressive deck. Not just the main deck, too. The sideboard is extremely impressive. 13 different cards.
Gotta love an Enlightened Tutor sideboard. Similar to Vampire Tutor sideboard, you just put one of things you can tutor for that will devastate certain opponents. In fact, we watched Bob in the quarterfinals just demolish Dirk Dabrowski with one card, Trade Routes. He has one copy of Trade Routes in his main deck, but 4 Enlightened Tutors to go get it. And one of the cards to keep an eye on for this matchup is another one of that Bob can Enlightened Tutor for. He has Ivory Masks in his main deck. Mercadian Masks rare, 2 WW. It says that you cannot be the target of spells and effects. Brian Davis only has 2 creatures in his deck, just 2 Skittering Scourges. All the rest of his damage comes from Drain Lives and Corrupts that he points straight at Bob. With Ivory Mask on the table, Brian will have an extremely hard time winning.
And not just that.
He has 2 discs in his deck, but Bob has answers for those as well.
And not just that, after sideboard in will come a Compost, which is really devastating.
Oh. The spirit of Chicago is strong with this one. First Pro Tour ever with Necro in Extended in Chicago. He is playing against a hometown kid, hometown guy from Bob Maher, but Maher has cashed his draw in. Maher's forced a mulligan, and wow, first turn, Unmask you, Ritual, Necro. You can't draw that off any better, can you, Brian?
That's a pretty ridiculous draw, to be quite honest.
Maher has to draw 2 Force of Wills and 2 blue cards. How does he win?
Well, he's still got the Enlightened Tutor engine, so as long as he can keep enough land in his hand and on the board, he could potentially Enlightened Tutor for an Ivory Mask, which should stall the game. Brian may not want to play. And remember, I think in this first game, other than the discs, he doesn't really have any way to deal with the enchantments, so the game could stall out if he can get a disc or an oath. An oath will stop the creature damage, too.
Well, Brian only has 2 creatures in his entire deck.
Right.
By the way, there's 5 creatures total between both decks. Bob has 3, Brian has 2. Bob does have a 4th creature in his sideboard, to be fair. That draw is not very good either.
That's a really poor draw.
Wasteland is his only land. He has an Impulse.
Will, I think. No, that's a Brainstorm.
Is that a Brainstorm?
I believe so.
One more time.
One more time.
I think that's a good mulligan. I think that's a really good mulligan.
I think he's right.
And if he could see his hand, he'd definitely mulligan it.
Well, it's almost good for Bob. Bob doesn't want to waste a good draw when Brian's got that. I don't think Bob has a draw that can beat Brian Davis's hand right now.
I think so.
Perverse things would have to happen in the upcoming turns. And whatever 5 cards Bob finally settles on, he's going to immediately lose one of them to Unmask.
Like, to be perfectly honest, the best hand Bob might draw might be 5 land or like.
I agree.
Something very similar.
That's
close. That's a perfect draw almost.
Okay.
He's going to lose the Aura Silence, which really stinks. But the rest of it is really solid. He just wants land.
He drew a black card. He can unmask him twice if he wants to. If he wants to remove Corrupt, he can go unmask you, Ritual, Necro. That's all I got.
There's rumors.
I'll do more next turn.
There's rumors that Brian Davis sacrificed a goat last night in order to get a draw like this.
Wow. Yep, take the Aura. Does he bother going for the plow? He might as well. He's just going to refill his hand, right?
Yeah.
Is there a reason not to? Yeah. Oh, he's going to be conservative, isn't he?
I should take this for hand when you do your subbing card.
He should have 1 card in his hand.
Necro for 5.
Necro for 5? He's still going to win, but it's not as much fun.
Yeah. Go 10 step.
Randy all Necro for 9 Bueller.
That was even more fun when you had Firestorm in your hand and there were like 3 creatures on the board. Played against Sven Geertsen, I get to say Necro for 11. And the look on his face was priceless because I'd already firestormed him once. So looking at his hand, there must be something I could do. Yeah, memory's all I got left. All right, there's Morphling. I think unmask Morphling, draw some cards. You know you're going to unmask it eventually, right?
Yeah, it
Not
just
like Spinning
depends.
Darkness is going to do any good.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah. Waste you. All right, so Bob has a land and a card.
That's nice. That's nice.
Brian's only got 2 permanents, right?
It's a good thing him's not in this environment anymore.
Although, you know, they're doing exactly what Chris Pakula said they should do to fix Extended. Said ban everything until Necro's good again. Then ban Necro, and then you're done. Yeah. Wow.
This probably is actually, I mean, for Bob, as bad as this is, it could be, I mean, it really can't be worse, but
Yeah, I mean, Brian has...
he's got a couple of land in play, which isn't too bad.
Yeah, it's 8-20 for the record. I mean, Brian does need to take some time to build up some land.
Right,
in play.
he's got to develop to about six land to really get going. Although the disc is going to hit the board, there's nothing Bob can do about it. So,
right.
And that'll really end Bob's chances at salvaging himself with Ivory Mask or something like that.
Yeah, Brian's plan next turn is probably land done. He might go ahead and unmask if Bob actually has 2 cards in his hand. I don't know if he needs to unmask. But he just needs to take some time, build up some land, and play. Play the disc, and then start draining and corrupting.
Necroform.
Yeah, this looks correct.
So he doesn't even really care to unmask him at this point.
Right. He's not trying to defend anything. I think next turn he may unmask to make sure.
Right.
Well, how much enchantment removal does Bob have in his main deck? Does he have anything other than that one aura?
Let's take a look. I got his main deck.
Does he have a disenchant or?
No, it looks like it's just the aura, which he would have because he can tutor for it.
Right, of course. Yeah, I mean, aura is the best first enchantment removal.
Right. Yeah, that's it. That's just the only one. So
and you know what? If Brian didn't know that off the top of his head, he would have unmasked there. This kid studied. He did his homework last night. He had clearly spent a lot of time cramming last night. He didn't bother to unmask Bob because he knows the only way for Bob to remove a disc is already in his graveyard. Kind of unfortunate that he didn't draw a land. Might have to consult for a swamp here. I think I would consult for swamp.
Yeah, sounds right.
It's not risky at all. There's 20 swamps in the deck.
What's amazing is, despite the fact that Bob
for
is in as bad a situation as you can possibly imagine, he could actually get out of this. I mean, he could potentially draw a Gaze Blessing, somehow get into something that gets rid of the disc, and put down Ivory Mask.
I really think he should have consulted for swamp there. I mean, he paid the alternative casting cost of 3B for unmask. He could have consulted for swamp and still paid that alt CC. Okay, Bob's got another counterspell. He gets to counterspell a drain. He doesn't get the rest in the meantime.
Bob's really hoping that after he says go, Brian will reach over and draw a card.
Train life you for 3.
It's smart not to use the ritual.
Okay.
He knew Bob's just going to counterspell. He's saving the ritual to sink into the next drain after he runs Bob out of counter magic. It's a good play. This kid can play. The more I think about that first game against Raphael Levy, the more impressed I am with the way Brian Davis played it. He locked Raphael Levy under his own Winter Orb, and he saw it coming from turn 4. He just played the entire game. Raphael Levy sitting there waiting for the Winter Orb to get disked away, saving stuff back so he can win after the disc blows up. Brian Davis just won the game with untapped discs in play.
Right. Well, the only problem here is that Brian does need to get some more life back. He's lost a lot of life from the Necropotence. Yeah.
Brainstorm. Okay.
So
he has corrupt and
brainstorm,
though, right?
The counterspell here would be big.
That's big.
That's huge.
Does he still have 2 blue?
That is huge.
What are his land? He's got Wasteland. He had to tap Tropical Island for that.
Right. It gets duressed away, but
he can see. He can just keep the Tundra. Can't tell if that's a Savannah in play. Then Bob needs to play Tundra. Yeah, it's a Savannah, so he probably keeps Tundra counterspell and plays Tundra, right?
Right. That's right.
Okay.
This would be really big if
Brian should duress here.
Right.
I mean, it just brainstormed. He's got to know that Bob's card is decent. Yeah,
Duress.
there's the Duress. That'll get Counterspell. Now he's got a Corrupt in his hand. Ritual Corrupt
Dark Ritual.
or Ritual
Mhm.
Drain.
That's correct.
Drain for 4.
Or drain for 4.
Drain for 4.
Yep.
That's probably better. Now, presumably, he'll come up with a Swamp and be able to... He still has a Consult in his hand, right?
Yeah.
Why hasn't he consulted for Swamp?
Maybe saving it to consult for something else, figuring he'll draw swamps in the Necropotence.
Instead.
Yeah, but I mean, all his Drains and all his Corrupts would be bigger if he had another Swamp.
Yeah, he didn't draw swamp.
And he did get a Wasteland, which will allow him to cast the Corrupt.
Right.
But it's a Corrupt for 5, where it should be a Corrupt for 6.
Go ahead.
And he can still consult for Swamp, and... Well, then he can't collect.
Well, while this game 1 may be a preview of the games to come, I don't think Davis will consistently get off as fast as he did.
Certainly not.
So, for those of you rooting for Bob, don't lose heart just yet.
Certainly. And Bob has Compost in his sideboard. Compost is amazing against the free spell Necro deck.
Okay.
Bob brainstorms his response. Saw an extra card. It was blue. Yeah, he takes the Impulse. So now he can Impulse his response, but I don't think he has enough mana left.
Okay.
I think it's Arcane Denial. Does he have Arcane Denial? Does he have a U1 counter that he can use here as an option? Oh, it's still, yeah.
Sylvan Library.
So none of that helps. He'll take the Sylvan just because it might allow him to get back into
That
the game.
resolves. Okay.
But that drain resolves.
Oh, you mean the drain
So
resolves?
Sylvan will get in play, I think. I don't think he's got a way to remove it from his hand, in his hand right now.
It's now Davis 6, Maher 12.
Yep.
Brian will draw some more cards. And Bob will certainly play Sylvan Library here. And I think Brian should probably then disc it away. One Swamp.
Go ahead.
Bob needs to draw a Gaia's Blessing. That's the main card to draw.
That one's not bad. That's not great. It's got 5 land in play, so you can counter a drain potentially. But
Yeah,
but no, there's Wasteland on
yeah,
Brian's side of the
if
board.
Brian is conservative about
Bob's nonchalantly go ahead, trying to play possum, trying to look dead. Brian should waste something, waste one of the blue mana, and then corrupt, right?
yeah, that's right. No, he didn't. And he's gonna get it first.
What's that?
That's merciful.
What was that? Bob Maher, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, that was, I think, the first mistake we've seen from Brian Davis.
We're not
Guy
missing
doesn't
something
make
this time,
mistakes very often. That was just a very clear instance where he should have wastelanded. But he's probably not going to get too penalized as long as he can consult for something to give him some life.
Yeah.
But that
What's
was,
he use? He's used 2 drains and a corrupt?
yeah, I think so. Now he can,
He gets his draw phase back too.
right.
Bob's going to play Sylvan, presumably. And now Davis should disc away the Sylvan and the Necro, right?
That's what I think. Yeah, he needs to get his draw phase
His other
back.
option is to use a consult.
I mean, this is insane. When you think about how
He
large a
removed another
start
corrupt
Davis
from the game,
got
too.
and where we're at right now, this is just really nuts. I mean, how many people really thought Bob had a chance in this game when you look at the first like 2 or 3 turns that Davis had? All right, there's a couple of people raising their hand, but not too many. And I think those of you that are lying.
There's 1 corrupt removed from the game, and there's a corrupt and 2 drains in the graveyard, if my memory serves. Is it? It's not 3 drains in the graveyard, is it? It might be 3 drains.
Yeah, this boy.
So those consults are really risky.
I love these shots. You get to look at Davis. He's going, what the hell just happened?
Why? Davis sporting a competitor shirt in the top 8.
He's reviewing his turn 1. I unmasked. I cast Dark Ritual Necropotence. Then I dumped Bob Maher's hand. Why am I still playing this game? This is really where you got to have composure, step back, think, okay, I got to win. I have to win.
Yeah, he knows he should have wastelanded too. He had to, as soon as that Force of Will came out, Bob tapped out for Force of Will. He has to have known that he should have wasted.
While the match gets very different after sideboarding, the first game is always a huge game to determine momentum.
Sure.
And if after this start, Maher wins, all the momentum's got to be in Maher's favor, especially after the easy way that Davis handled Levy in the semis and relatively easy way he handled the Englishman in the top 8.
Experience done. I'll blow this.
Yeah,
he
there it
goes to
is. And he gets his draw phase back. I don't
You
know.
can't let Bob sell him.
Do you know, Randy, exactly what the count is on how many drain lives and corrupts he has remaining? We got our man on the floor, Scott Johns, that's going to check that.
Does he start 4 and 4?
Let's take a look.
I'm pretty sure
It's 4 corrupt and 4 drain life. So yeah, he's got the full
he's
complement.
used up 2 corrupts, and I want to say 3 drains. It might only be 2 drains, so I'm not sure if he's cast 2 drains or 3 drains over the course of the game.
Oh my lord. Jeez.
You hear him?
This is insane.
What the? Bob casually flips that onto the table. What just happened?
Go.
He has 1 disc left in his deck and 2 skittering scourges. We'd like to remind the crowd that the players are within distant hearing range, and they were able to hear that outburst. So I understand, but try to keep it a little quiet. Yeah, there were indeed 3 drain lives in Brian's graveyard. So he has 1 drain and 2 corrupts left in his deck, but those aren't going to do anything unless he comes up with the 1 remaining disc. Meanwhile, the 2 skittering scourges can win in the game while Ivory Mask is on the table.
I am just stunned at the developments of this game.
Look at the Bob's go-ahead hand gesture. So much more confident now than it was at the beginning.
There's a reason for that.
It's just interesting how the momentum is so visibly slow.
Yeah.
And if they really could hear our scream, that has to affect Brian Davis.
Yeah. Wow.
Because he knows.
Did that wasteland alter the course of this game? I think it did.
Yeah, I mean, Davis
It
would
was
have...
huge.
Bob would be at 6, and Brian would be at 8, plus he would have necroed for a bunch more.
Potentially this game could be over. It's amazing, really.
And this game has now been turned around by a Mercadian Masks card. That set's great. Did I say that when it came out? There's the beatdown. What's Brian's
some
life total?
offense?
And Brian does have spin in his hand.
Yeah, it is. So this game could take a while, though. If Bob draws an oath, he'll be in real good shape. Then
He's going to let the Fairy Conclave get spun, so he can then cast Spike Feeder?
It's always landed.
That's cute.
that's a good play. That's a good play.
Another ritual.
So
Still
Davis really needs to find that skittering scourge, get it on board, and start
Should we
attacking.
consult for it?
I think he should, but maybe he's afraid.
All right, so now I understand being conservative if you think you've got the game won anyway, but he's in trouble.
Yeah, he's in serious trouble.
He's got
I
one
personally
disc.
would consult, give it the best shot. I don't know what the math is based upon how many cards he's got in his deck, but if he has more
That's
than
two
about
of them.
16 or 17 cards, he should definitely consult.
I think he's got like 30.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not sure what's
He
keeping
hasn't
him
used
from
a consult. He
consulting.
hasn't used a single consult this game. He's got like half his library left.
Yeah, I
He
honestly
should
think
consult for one of the 2 scourges and just hope. He's got, because as soon as Bob draws into permission, even that plan won't work.
right. Well, I mean, he can unmask and he can do some things, but he's just giving Bob a lot of draw phases to draw
Right.
the stuff he needs. And for instance, he's going to have to use a contagion on this spike feeder
Or he's got another spin.
or a spin. You probably would want to use contagion because there's no way the spin would gain him any life.
True. Of course, you might as well wait for Bob to draw a card, give Bob the opportunity to draw counterspell, right?
Yeah, I think he probably wants to get the counter magic out of his hand. Although, I mean, Davis needs to really get on Skittering Scourge quick here. I think before he was thinking so much about, wow, Swords to Plowshares, that's an awesome draw. It'll probably,
It'll get unmasked.
Yeah, we'll get unmasked, but
He can't yes.
unmasked targets a player. You're right.
Plow is permanent in Bob's hand. Now only the second Skittering Scourge or the second disc can win the game.
So if he had consulted earlier, he'd be in a lot better shape.
If he'd consulted 4 turns ago, as soon as Ivory Mask hit the table, Bob would be dead.
Right. I think part of the reason why he might have made that error, and he hasn't made very many, so it's peculiar. But I think the reason why he made that error is because in this game he was probably thinking the creatures don't matter. I'm playing its Oath of Druids.
Right.
I don't want to put creatures on the table. And now he had to rely on getting a creature on the board to do some damage to Maher.
Mm-hmm. He's not playing against an Oath of Druids deck right now. He's playing against an Ivory Mask deck.
Right.
If you look at Bob's main deck only has 2 Oath of Druids.
Right. I mean,
it's like he has 6 Oaths and 5 Ivory Masks.
Right. The scary thing he's probably thinking is that if he consults, he'd lose the disc, possibly. Or if he consults for the disc, he might lose the Scourges. And if he loses one or the other, his chances of winning reduce significantly. And certainly, if
do they reduce to less than they are?
Yeah, I agree. He should have consulted earlier, but now I think he's
only 2 in the main. He only has 2 Nevinyrral's discs in his main deck, and he's already used one of them this game. So he's got 1 disc left in his main deck. If my memories of his deck list is correct, I'll double check that. Yeah, there are 2 Nevinyrral's discs in his main deck. The other 2 are in the sideboard, along with some Dystopias, which can also remove Ivory Mask.
Oh, big pull. That's a disc. That's a disc.
Yeah, obviously his play was correct all along.
Maybe there's some Scandinavian blood coursing through his veins. You can just see what was 4 cards down.
Okay.
Confidently lays the disc. Bob, okay.
Well, we know
Wow,
Bob
the last disc.
can't disenchant it because the Aura Silence is still in the graveyard.
Right. He
So
can throw Guy's Blessing, flip
that's
it
a
back
disc.
in, and get it as the cantrip card.
Lightning Tutor.
But he can get no.
Oh!
But he can get no rod.
Scoop. Welcome back. It's now time for game 2 of the finals of Pro Tour Chicago. Bob Maher Jr. is up 1-0 after a miraculous comeback in game 1. As soon as the match ended, I don't think you guys could hear it, but he said, "I'd like to take a minute to thank Dave Williams for this miser's cage."
And Bob Maher is clearly the miser today.
Yes, he is. That's why they call him the Great One.
After
I would like to caution the audience to be quiet. The players can hear, and Brian Davis does clearly look rattled right here.
he's looking down, thinking, Ritual, Necro, after an Unmask? How is that not enough?
And by the way, it's not clear that he should have conceded that game to the Null Rod. He still had 2 Skittering Scourges left in his library that could win the game. I mean, I guess his theory is creatures are irrelevant to this matchup. But he still had a shot. Still had to draw a Scourge, could consult for Scourge. I mean, we know Bob has 1 Plow in his hand, but even still, even from our point of view, the second Scourge might win the game, in theory. I don't know. I think he was clearly rattled, and he may have conceded. Maybe he just wanted to get that game over with. I mean, maybe he just wanted to conserve his mental energy. And
yeah, the odds of him winning were really slim between the Plow in his hand, which he didn't know about.
Disheartening to try.
Yeah, but the Plow in his hand.
Yeah, I would certainly. I mean, I think it was not correct to concede there.
Yeah, it wasn't. It may not have been correct to concede, but the odds of him winning were extraordinarily slim.
Not nearly as large a mistake as the Wasteland on that Force of Will. The failure to Wasteland would have let the person.
Right.
So the sideboards for these players, they both have some relevant cards. Brian's clearly going to take all of the creature removal out of his deck. He's going to take out the 3 Spinning Darknesses and the 4 Contagions. He should put in 2 Dystopias, 2 Nevinyrral's Discs, and 3 Persecutes. In fact, he took out both his Skittering Scourges, and he left in a couple Spinning Darknesses. So he does have a couple spinning darknesses to deal with Bob's creatures. And he has no creatures of his own. So if Bob has any Oath of Druids in his deck, they're dead. They're dead cards. Bob, on the other hand, has a compost that he's able to bring in, which sounds awfully, awfully good in this matchup. And he also has a second Aura of Silence, which I'm sure he'll bring in. He has still has the Null Rod in his main deck.
And it looks like Brian Davis has mulliganed.
Bob has 3 Oath of Druids in his sideboard right now. That means there's 1 in his main deck. That's what I would have done if I was Bob. I would leave exactly 1 card in that could deal with creatures. He doesn't know whether or not Brian's going to sideboard out his 2 Skittering Scourges. And because of the Enlightened Tutor engine, it just seems worth that 1 slot in the deck.
Yeah, even if he sideboarded out his creatures, which is what Brian Davis did, it's not that bad a disadvantage to have 1 dead card in your deck.
Right.
And it could certainly come in a pinch.
Meanwhile, what else? Bob also has access to, let's see.
Bob's current sideboard, he took out his Spike Feeder and his Shard Phoenix. His Morphling is the only creature in his deck. He took out the Feeder and the Phoenix. He also took out Trade Routes. He still has a Plow in his deck. He put in an extra Gaia's Blessing. He put in Compost, and he actually put Light of Day in his deck. He put the Light of Day from his sideboard in his deck. So Bob has 2 anti-creature cards against what is now a creatureless Necro deck. I watched Compost in action in this matchup yesterday. I watched Dirk Baborowski play Pat Chapin, and Dirk did not have the Enlightened Tutor base, so Compost wasn't nearly as good for him. Yeah, Davis Mulligan. But Dirk randomly drew his 1 Compost, and it made Pat's game absolutely miserable. Every time he did anything, Dirk got to draw a card, and Necro just can't operate in situations like that. So there's Bob's hand. He's got 3 land and a good mix of spells. That's Ivory. Is that Ivory Mask? Or Sacred Ground?
Sacred Ground.
Oh, that's Sacred Ground, which came in from the sideboard. Tutor counterspell Sacred Ground. Takes the tutor. That seems like the right call, don't you think?
Yeah, it's a little unfortunate for Bob that he doesn't have a normal land because he won't be able to have 2 mana up on turn 2 unless he draws into a land. Even the Wasteland won't give him counterspell mana. He would be able to cast like a Sacred Ground or something like that turn 2 if he wanted to.
Brian's hand, meanwhile, does not include Necropotence. I mean, that's got to be Bob's big fear, is that Brian's about to go turn 3 Necropotence, but the only way Brian does that is if he mises. Draw? Not a Necro.
Yeah, there's not much going on.
Nah, he's got an Unmasked for next turn, but Impulse, pretty good card.
Yeah, this is one of those things where you lose the match that you're supposed to win, you're demoralized, and it's just hard to come back mentally. I mean, he hasn't really had any decisions here. His draw's fairly poor, especially considering his draw in the first game.
Well, let's end up second. So we're just gonna do it now.
This is Brian Davis's first Pro Tour, as we keep saying. It's trying to become the 3rd straight rookie to win a Pro Tour Chicago. But he actually does have a lot of tournament experience. We talked to some of the judges from Memphis, and he's played something on the order of 30 Pro Tour qualifiers before he finally won one. He won a 34-person UBC qualifier with a Squirrel Prison deck.
Cast counterspell.
Started playing Magic during Mirage, so does have a fair amount of tournament experience. He's one of the more active players from Memphis. And by the way, the best performance ever for a Memphis player before this tournament was 210th. He's the first Memphis player to crack the 200, top 200.
Well, he keeps drawing more ways to get rid of the counter magic in Bob's hand. So if he eventually does draw into Necropotence, he could actually come back in this game, even though he's a little down right now.
Bob bless his counterspells back in. He's going to Impulse first. Oh, Sacred Ground.
Okay.
Doesn't do a lot, but stops Wasteland, so seems worth committing to the board. Oh, that beats Spinning Darkness, doesn't it?
Or does it or does not beat Spinning Darkness? If Spinning Darkness kills a Treetop Village while Sacred Ground's in play,
Right.
what happens? The damage kills it? Okay, so that does not beat Spinning Darkness.
Well, there's a card that he really wanted, and it's Enlightened Tutor. But he opts not to take it. What did he
Did
take
he take
instead?
Treetop Village?
No,
Treetop Village number 3?
I don't think so. That would be really surprising if it did. Did he really?
He's
Oh, did
going
he get
be-
duressed? Oh, if he
Yeah,
got,
that was an impulse.
oh, that was an impulse? No, he got duressed.
Oh, he got duress.
That's why he took the
He
Treetop
impulsed as a
Village.
response to duress.
Okay, yeah, that's the correct play. I knew he
Oh,
wouldn't
okay.
take that if he...
Good play. He knew that he was going to lose the impulse.
Yeah, it was unfortunate that he didn't have one more white open so he could get the Enlightened Tutor and use 6th edition rules to Enlightened Tutor before the duress could go off.
That's a good point.
But he's in good shape. He'll be
He's
able to
gonna
hit
go
him a couple
beatdown.
times.
Right?
Yeah, that's what I would definitely be doing.
Oh,
geez, where did that
compost
come
off the
from?
top.
Good God. That's about the worst thing
Yes.
he could have dropped right there.
Worst thing for Brian. Best thing for the hometown fans. There's console. So Necro can hit the table right now.
Well,
And
he's probably gonna have
Bob only
do
needs to
it.
draw 1 card this turn off Brian.
Nice stuff. One conversation in the exit. Oh, I'll name to where the leader go. One conversation. Yeah, sure.
He does indeed consult for Necro. That's got to be what he does.
Leonard is Necropotence, correct? I'm just making sure.
Compost will really offset all that hand destruction.
Well, he didn't lose anything that bad.
No, he needs
so
to get a
far.
disc, right?
Oh, that was very good.
That was an excellent
The
excellent console.
only really relevant card I think he lost was a corrupt.
Yeah.
He has a persecute, but persecute at this point in the game is not much better than a duress.
He needs to play Necro. He needs to have Bob not draw a counterspell. Put Necro on the table. Bob drew very conclave. Now what has to happen is he needs a disc before that compost gets Bob back into the game.
Yeah.
He needs to disc away compost, or he's just.
6.
I think Bob will draw so many cards that.
Yeah, it's tough too because of the treetop villages.
Yeah, those villages are going to start to hit hard.
Yeah, the sacred ground.
Instead.
So he draws. There's the disc
That's
and a wasteland, which doesn't do anything. There's a persecute. So I believe on his next turn he could play. Yes, he can play persecute and disc.
That's strong.
He's just going to discard wasteland.
Whoa.
Well, I mean, there's sacred ground in play.
Instead, remove it from the game, right?
Might as well. He's gonna have to blow the disc, I assume, right?
Yeah, I don't know if I discard wasteland.
I don't think I would.
Seems like wasteland's better than swamp.
Yeah, I completely
I
agree.
mean, I understand corrupt, but
It's a little cute.
yeah, I think you should have just if he wanted if
Yeah,
he
bring
felt he
swamp.
had too much land in his hand, he should have discarded swamp.
Did let's see, did Brian Davis move in his planar void?
No.
Okay.
Thunderboy's still on the board.
Well, Bob doesn't have much on the top.
Just gotta go beat down with
So-
treetop villages, though,
I
right?
think so.
Chaos Blessing, targeting. Chaos Blessing, Impulse, and Enlightened Tutor.
Okay.
He's gonna
This
gaze
is
blessing,
strong.
targeting gaze blessing, impulse, and enlightened tutor.
Gives him a chance
lot
to
of
reshuffle his
manipulation.
deck with Brainstorm.
Yep. Now be drawing off a fresh deck, and those are good cards. Those are cards he'd be quite happy to draw. This game's really tight right now. I mean, this is close. I mean, I think if Bob doesn't draw anything relevant, he'll attack for 3 with Treetop Village, right?
Yeah, definitely with Necropotence in play, he needs to reduce Davis' life total as quickly as possible to reduce the effectiveness of Necropotence.
Is it worth for Davis to cast Ritual Persecute with Compost in play? Doesn't even it may not even be worth it. It's going to be down card advantage, down cards.
Probably not. Although, yeah.
Okay, Treetop Village.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no real reason to because
I
you
love
can discount Force of Will.
Go
So,
ahead.
It's now Davis 11, Maher 20.
so we should think that the disc is going to come into play. That's pretty important too, because getting rid of that compost is really key.
I think so.
And even the sacred ground is causing him a lot of trouble.
Right, he should not have discarded Wasteland.
Yeah, no idea why he discarded that Wasteland, to be honest. It's pretty peculiar because he's really used Wasteland to good effect throughout the throughout the top 8 that we've seen. So it's a little surprising they didn't want to keep it.
There's the disc.
Okay.
So Bob doesn't have an immediate answer for it.
Right. I don't think Ritual Persecute's worth it. It's just he should just refill his hand and say done.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that compost really inhibits what he's able to do effectively, especially with the discard. Nowhere near as effective as it can be without compost on the board. So I think he should hold off on casting any of his discard spells till the compost is gone at least.
I agree.
Now, this is a pretty tough situation because Bob can be very aggressive with the treetop villages. If he attacks with both, that's 6 damage. So depending on exactly what instance he thinks he's going to draw, he really can't necro too aggressively. There's also a Fairy Conclave. So let's see. Does Bob have enough mana to activate? No, he doesn't. He doesn't really have enough mana to go with everybody, even if he draws a land off the top. So basically, Brian can necro for, I think, about 4. Although that's a little scary still. Funny how Bob's deck has turned into a much more offensive deck than you'd think an Oath of Ghouls deck with 3 treetop villages in play. This is a very difficult necro here.
How many cards do you think he should get?
He's
got 5 cards in his hand right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he should be conservative here. Maybe no more than about 2 or 3, yeah.
Yeah, 2 or 3.
Yeah, all the cards in his hand are pretty much stuff he wants to keep.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
2's fine. I mean, he's probably going to spend his next turn casting a big drain. So it's not like he needs to find a new plan. Davis is down to 9. Of course, there's those treetop villages. Dystopia.
It's another way to get rid of the 2 enchantments that are on the board. Probably not. I mean, it helps in terms of like what future threats Bob could drop, but for now, he really needs to find a way of dealing with those treetop villages.
Sure.
And he's probably wishing he had that wasteland back.
Yeah, Bob still has the Swords to Plowshares in his deck, which is pretty worthless. I mean, he can plow his own creatures. That's all he can do with it.
Yeah. He doesn't know that, but...
Reflecting Pool allowed Bob access to 2 green mana
right.
to activate 2 treetop villages.
Now, see, this is where if Davis has to cast Consult, it would really help Bob because then he would be able to see that there aren't any Scourges in his deck and could perhaps even shorten the amount of creature elimination or creature...
That would help him in sideboard. Then they can have the bluff where they both go play with their sideboards between games.
Right. So...
Davis is at 3.
Right. I think he's going to have to keep the disc till his turn because he can't kill.
Right. He needs to get a treetop village with it.
Right. Yeah. Might as well corrupt him.
Corrupt you for 7. That resolves, putting Davis back to 10.
Draw a card. Yep.
Maher drops to 13. Bob does get to draw a card. And Davis's plan is obviously to disc away one of the treetop villages.
At least the Sacred Ground and Compost will go.
All right, now how does the Nevinyr's disc treetop village Sacred Ground ruling work? The treetop stays even if it gets disced away.
This one's fine, right?
So if he blows up that's what Brian's asking right now. If he blows up a disc, then he's generated an effect which destroys one of Bob's lands. So Bob's land comes back into play?
Necro for 1.
Yeah, the Sacred Ground will...
Fenced up. Go ahead.
Yeah, since the Sacred Ground is in play when all their permanents head for the graveyard, the Sacred Ground will put that one treetop village back into play.
Right. I believe I heard Davis say, I messed up. I wonder what he's referring to. Might be referring to the Wasteland.
Yeah, I'm sure yeah. That's the only mistake he's made this game.
Bob's not drawing all that strong.
No,
this
it's
game.
counterspell.
He just has a counterspell on the plow, which is useless. 2 land. The treetop villages are still really difficult to get rid of, though.
Yeah. He should attack, right? He should attack.
Doesn't really matter
Davis
either
blow
way.
his disc. Well, doesn't he want the disc gone?
Yeah, he does. So he should attack, but but he should try to leave two blue open.
Sure, absolutely.
These are creatures and heat discs. Since it all happens simultaneously, this one will land back into play.
Bob's asking about the ruling.
And I'm sure he's going to hear what we're hearing up here in the booth, that disking will bring the Treetop Village back.
It will put it back.
Yep, and head judge Nat Fairbanks has issued the correct ruling. Sacred Ground will put any creatures that die to the disc back in play, even though the disc is destroying Sacred Ground. Bob fires up Fairy Conclave. He's going to fire up Treetop Village and leave up 2 blue, right? Seems like, yeah, tap both Treetop Villages. That way he can leave the Reflecting Pool untapped and have 3 blue sources available. He doesn't lose to Wasteland.
Sorry.
Davis has to blow the disc here, right?
Absolutely, yeah. And that's where it was really his intention. This was kind of all predetermined.
And he should have Wasteland in his hand ready for next turn, but
yeah.
May draw a card.
Compost does trigger.
Right back into play. So these.
The Necropotence, by the way, the same ruling that allows Bob's land to come back into play also hurts Brian in that Bob gets to draw a card off his Compost when the Necro goes to the graveyard. So Bob got another card up out of that.
Right. Bob drew several cards off that Compost, but unfortunately his draw has been relatively poor, and he hasn't been able to draw the high-quality cards that he had game 1.
He's got an Impulse, and he Impulse for a creature land.
How many cards did he have? I have 4.
And those creature lands are pretty threatening. There's 4 creature lands there.
Right. The only problem is, given that... That's interesting. Let's see, could Davis have Necroed there?
He could have.
He opted not to.
He chose not to. How much damage does he have in his hand? His plan at this point has to be to race. He has a Corrupt and a Drain, and Bob's at 13.
Yeah, he can.
He can Corrupt for 8 and then Drain for But Bob has a counterspell, so he's going to Persecute blue, presumably.
Blue.
You don't need the name yet. He said Persecute blue.
All right.
The right play is to say Persecute. Are you countering? But he tipped his hand. He did the same thing with a Consult earlier. I thought earlier he might have done it on purpose because he wanted to spell counter.
But
Maybe
it's
he
okay.
wanted this one countered, but
This is a strange game where quite the opposite of game 1, where game 1 it completely looks like Davis is going to win and Bob Maher ends up pulling it out, and then this game after Compost gets dropped with Sacred Ground, you completely think that Bob's going to win, and now it looks like Davis is in the driver's seat, where if Bob doesn't draw a counter spell or something to stop the Drain Life or Corrupt, whichever one he holds, that Davis is going to win. So this match really seems like it could go either way, even though the early turns seem like it's going to be a lopsided match.
so he can go Dark Ritual, Corrupt you for 8.
That's right, and then next turn drain him out. And the key here is for Davis not to be afraid. He's got to try and kill him here while he's got the opportunity. If he doesn't try to end the game here, things could get disastrous by giving Bob too many draws to draw into something. The only problem
He's
is
also going to take a beating from creature lands if he doesn't gain some life here.
right. We're going to need to do some math on whether that Swords to Plowshares in Bob's hand will allow him to live. He's got 8 in play. So if he rituals, corrupts for 8, that would put Bob at 5.
Right.
The following turn, he drops a land,
9th.
putting him at 9, and can
Drains for
drain
7.
for 7, which
Plow takes Bob up to 8.
right, which puts Bob at 1. So oddly, the correct play here, if he could see Bob's hand, would be to say
He
goodbye.
says done.
And Davis, who seems to have,
He's afraid of Force Will. Bob only has 2 cards in his hand.
I don't
Now,
think.
can Brian win this game if Bob has Force Will? How does it help to let Bob untap? How does that help?
I don't know. I think someone's standing behind Bob and signaling to Davis what Bob has in his hand, because this guy's just crazy. He seems to always know what to do. Always. It's just amazing. Like, it's uncanny. Like, once in a while he'll make a mistake, but for the vast majority of the time, he seems to have like some psychic ability to know when to hold off and when to go for it. I don't really understand it, because he wouldn't know the Swords to Plowshares in his hand.
I'm not convinced he should be playing around Plow.
Yeah, he should. He
can
probably
do that
shouldn't
next
be,
turn.
but it's going to work for his advantage hugely, given that Bob didn't draw a counterspell, and as long as Brian Davis still tries to corrupt and drain life him
He
out.
drew a land, so now he's fine.
Now he's got to do it. I mean, his back's to the wall now. There's no stopping it here.
Corrupt you? How much? 9? Sure.
Corrupt you for 9? Sure. All right, Davis goes up to 12. Bob drops to 4.
Now, at this point, he should know that there is no counterspell in Bob's hand because Bob would certainly counter this because then he would just attack and win the game the next turn. So if Davis thinks it through, he should know there's no counterspell in Bob's hand. Now, will Bob draw a counterspell? He draws a Lightning Tutor. That shouldn't do it. Davis should win this game.
Any way for
Remarkable.
Bob to win? Despite discarding a Wasteland, Davis wins anyway. He just outraces him with drains and corrupts to the head.
This is a very, very exciting final. I think this might go down to the wire.
Yeah, now Davis has got to have a little confidence. If he really does win this game, he's still a little nervous right now. He's like, Bob draws a counterspell. Bob pulled stuff out, had something up his sleeve last game.
The only thing we had better hope is that he doesn't drain him for 4 or even drain for 7. He's got to drain him for the full maximum.
Yeah, the only way Maher wins this game is if Davis drains for 4. I mean, Davis could say drain for 4. If Davis says drain for 4, then Maher is going to take a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, and we might see a grown man cry.
He's 15, he's not a grown man. Yeah, as long as Davis sinks everything into the drain, he wins. 2 treetop villages knock Davis down to 6. So it's 6-4. Brian tapped. Did Brian just reach over and tap Miser's Cage? Yeah, he reached over and tapped the Miser's Cage. Come on, don't say 4! Shh, don't, guys, be quiet.
Drain you for 4.
Oh my God. I can't believe he did that. All he has to do is tap 3 more lands.
What's amazing here?
It's too late. He said drain life for 4. It's on the stack.
What's amazing here is the top deck of the disc is the worst card he can draw because then he's
left
actually
4 mana for the
tempted to
disc.
leave the 4 mana open
Doesn't
for the
matter.
disc. If he draws an utter piece of garbage, he won't keep
Oh my.
4 mana open for the disc. And guess what happens next turn? He's got an Enlightened Tutor in his
Oh
hand.
my.
Anybody have any guesses what Bob's gonna
Is it a
Enlightened Tutor for?
Mercadian Masks card?
So despite
Oh,
the
it's an
fact,
aura.
Yeah.
How can he? Bob Maher Jr.
you should go for the 2 casting cost null rod.
He scoops. Tutor. Doesn't matter what he gets. Welcome back. It's time for Game 3 of the finals between Bob Maher Jr. and Brian Davis. Bob Maher Jr. is up 2-0 in a match that could easily be 2-0 in Brian Davis's favor. Brian's had a hell of a weekend. He's played brilliantly. He's gotten to this position. Obviously a really good player and just sitting down for the finals gives him 24 Pro Tour points. He's going to be on tour for the next 5 events. Next 6 events. It's just been a great weekend for Brian Davis. But he could easily be up 2-0.
That's right.
He, in fact, in the last game, not only should he have just sunk all his mana into the drain life, but when he conceded at a point where he was not dead. Brian conceded while he'd still gained 4 life from the drain life. It's not like Bob countered the drain. He merely didn't die to it. So, all right, guys, you really do need to be quiet. The players can hear when we're loud, and that sometimes gives away information.
We're first keeping the game.
Anyway, so the game started, and both players keep their opening hands. Brian goes for a turn 1 Unmask. He's got Ritual Necro in his hand. Bob does have the Force of Will, but he removed Persecute for Unmask. Clearly, he's going to take Force of Will and then go Ritual Necro, right?
Yeah, I think that's the obvious play.
Ritual Necro should have won in the first game, although it didn't. But if he'd Wastelanded that one turn, he'd let a big drain get Force of Will. He might have won.
Yeah, this is a very similar draw to the draw he had
In game 1. This is almost identical, though.
Necro for
We'll see if it works out any better this time. He Necros for 6 cards, going down to 14 life. That would give him a total of 8, and he has to discard 1 card during his end step.
Instep.
Draws a couple Unmasks. Abrupt. He has Spinning Darkness. Discards, yeah, one of the swamps. He's still got plenty. Bob finally gets a turn. Seems like Brian did an awful lot on that first turn.
Bob's got some
Go ahead.
weird synergy he has against Necropotence, where his Brainstorm will allow him to hide cards from the Unmasked.
Masking.
Right.
And then spinning dark again.
Yep, and Bob's going to
Brainstorm.
do exactly that. Bob has Oath of Druids in his hand. He obviously does not realize there are no creatures in Brian's deck. So what's he going to hide? I imagine he'll hide 2 counters. Counterspell Disrupt. It'll allow Aura of Silence to get unmasked away, right?
Yeah, that's the most likely candidate.
I mean, Bob may think the Oath is gone, but Brian knows he doesn't have any Scourges in his deck, so he'll clearly take Aura of Silence. Of course, I've said that about other plays Brian should make.
Okay, so pretty much first 2 turns here on Brian's part have gone
Necro for 3.
according to plan. Did that even fill his hand?
Good stuff.
Yeah, he played a land and an unmasked,
Okay.
so fills his hand stack. And gives him nothing to do next turn.
Well,
He
you're
can
right.
unmask.
He can unmask.
Go
That's
ahead.
it. And considering that he knows that
ahead.
Maher was hiding cards, it's probably not the worst play to unmask him.
That's fair.
But he can wait. He's not in any hurry. Does he have a... Yeah, he has a Necropotence in his hand. I think he could pitch. It's just a matter of whether or not he thinks it's worth it at the
Necro for
time.
2.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
gonna wait another turn. He's gonna wait till
Yeah.
he has something to do.
That's fair.
He'll probably unmask next turn and then play the disc. There's a second Spinning Darkness. Or is it the first one? Previous one got removed from the game.
Go ahead.
Bob has Disrupt and Counterspell in his hand right now.
Bob would really like to draw some creature lands, I think.
Go ahead.
There's land number 4
This.
and a disc.
There's spell.
Bob counter. Not sure why Brian didn't unmask
Well,
before casting the disc.
He
Does
wants
not
him to
care about the
counterspell.
disc?
Yeah,
Is that a
he's got
second
another one in his hand.
Okay, that's fair.
I think he wants him to counter it.
Necro for 2.
He's been real
Okay.
careful about unmasking before.
Good stuff.
Ooh, really nice.
Yeah, Wasteland's solid. Wasteland Duress. He can Duress Persecute.
Go ahead.
Yeah, he's got a lot of action.
Get a lot of information about Bob's hand, know what color to pick. Bob almost draws an extra card. Catches himself.
Go ahead.
Bob has Forbid in his hand now. He's got 3 counters. Persecute blue would be really good here. But it's not going to resolve.
Well, Bob has what, 4 cards? It's a good chance he'll forbid it buyback.
Those cards are pretty good.
Yeah. Let's see.
It's Forbid no
No,
buyback.
no buyback. Okay.
Leaving up Disrupt, by the way. We'll see if Ryan falls for Disrupt. Is this Persecute?
Yeah, probably.
Is he going to get Persecute disrupted?
Or he might put out the disc if he thinks the disc's more important. Yeah, he does.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's probably the right play. Also, he should know that the disrupts may or may not be in. So
Yeah, we asked, and the players were allowed to look at the deck lists before this match. In the 15-minute break, they were allowed to
Of course they
consult
were,
the deck
yeah.
lists that they received last night.
Disrupt.
6th edition tech. Bob Maher brainstormed this as a response to the Nevinyr's disc, came up with Force of Will, used it to counter the disc. It's good
Necro
stuff.
for 3.
Still, and the Unmask is still sitting in Brian's hand.
well,
What's he saving the Unmask for?
I'm not sure. I think he should have unmasked there. Certainly seems more beneficial. I mean, he wouldn't have gotten any counter magic, but at least he would have gotten the disc on the board, which seems...
Bob would probably have brainstormed as a response to the Unmask,
Yeah,
which then the disc would have resolved.
that's right. That's right. Yeah, there's no real problem with that. He can cast Disrupt, which keeps him from casting the disc, but all in all, seems pretty decent.
Yeah, now he doesn't have land. He doesn't have he wants the 6 land so he can start corrupted, but he doesn't have it. I'm not sure what he's saving
Go ahead.
the Unmask for. Bob still has Counterspell and Disrupt in his hand, right? What did he remove from the game with Force of Will? Was it the Disrupt?
Believe so.
It was probably the Disrupt.
Yeah. Okay, so he didn't have the disrupt in his hand when it was cast.
Persecution and Blue.
Yeah, Bob's down to just a plow in hand. Persecute Blue doesn't help.
Should he consult for a swamp here? He doesn't think so.
I would.
I guess he can
Still no
consult
land.
now.
Yeah, but now he can't play it. He didn't play a land.
Right.
Yeah, it was indeed Disrupt that got removed from the game in Force of Will. So Bob has Plow in his hand, and I think he has Counterspell on top of his library. Does he still have a Counterspell left? I mean, he brainstormed, right?
Search spell. Got it.
Yeah, Bob's current hand is Oath of Druids and Source of Plowshares.
Two
Oh, that's right. The Counterspell had been used already.
completely useless cards. He doesn't know it, but they are.
Okay. Swamp.
He knows it's Plow. He saw Plow when he persecuted. What did he name for the console?
Swamp.
I have no idea why he didn't do this in his previous main phase.
He was probably hoping to draw one, and then he might have figured that he would use the console for something else if he drew a swamp.
I guess. Yeah, I guess I see why Brian only has 3 Demonic Consultations in this deck. He's obviously doesn't like to use them unless he has to.
Well, not knowing what he's running into, he may unmask first. Probably will.
I'm asking. Remove Disturb.
He pitches 2 good cards for a worthless card.
Brian's like, I have no creatures in my deck. Why do you have these 2 in your deck? Of course, that Source of Plowshares was pretty good in the first game. I mean, clearly should take Plow because it can be relevant to the match. Shouldn't have been in the last game, but it was.
Corrupt you.
Who was it that plowed their own creature at Nationals the year Bob was on the Nationals team?
This means 7.
Wasn't there a story in the quarterfinals where Mario Rubino lost because...
Necro for 4. Okay.
I thought that was somebody plowing their own creature. I thought that was another story. All right, I'm just misremembering. Never mind. All right, well, Brian's got Corrupt, Drain in his hand, along with an Evanir's Disc. Bob Maher has an Oath of Druids, which does absolutely nothing, and land. Surely Davis is going to win this game.
Well,
We've been here before, but I don't even... I mean, last time I saw the way for him to lose it.
Been life for 5.
I don't see how he loses this game. I top deck Ivory Mask, but he's got a disc in his hand.
Necro for 2.
Like with a disc in Brian's hand to answer any Ivory Mask, Bob has to top deck Ivory Mask and either a Null Rod or a Silence.
Go ahead.
it's a very
Or an
safe
Enlightened Tutor.
situation
I mean,
for him.
he draw one of these and an Enlightened Tutor, and that might be fast enough. But Bob's already down to 9. It's only going to take... Does he have 2? Does he even have 2 turns?
Okay.
Oh, Morphling does nothing. That's usually good to draw. He actually should have gone ahead. He should have floodplained if he really wanted to defend Morphling. Brian can... It's not... All right, Brian has 1, 2... You see 1 short? 8, 9, 10... Now he can drain for 8. He's 1 short.
You have 1 card in hand? Yeah.
Or does he have a... Has he not played a land this turn? He has... Yeah, he's 1 short. Yeah.
Corrupt you for 7.
Rough for 7, still pretty good. I think
Yeah.
Dave takes Davis up to 13, drops Bob to 2.
It's a little risky because if he draws into a counterspell, he...
Oh, now he can Ritual Drain for 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it should be over. But he says Necro for 2. Draws 2 cards.
He knows...
What was that? Does Bob draw Ivory Mask or Permission? Permission good
Jeez.
enough? No, Duress. He has to draw Ivory Mask. He has to flood plane and then shuffle Ivory Mask to the top, and then nah, I don't think Bob plays like that. Oh, he didn't draw anything. Duress, drain, yeah, all right. So Brian Davis is going to win a game.
Let me ask you. With your folks in the game.
Bob Maher is going to be up 2-1. He's going to. All right, I'm training for everything this time. All right.
I heard
Welcome
Bob
back.
saying something about that.
It's time for Game 4 of Pro Tour Chicago Finals. Bob Maher Jr. currently leads 2-1 over Brian Davis. Brian looked a little overwhelmed in the first game, and I think in the second game he was maybe still rattled, but now he's got a win under his belt. He won a game, looks a little more determined now. It'd be interesting to see whether he settles down, starts playing Magic like he's been playing all weekend. How are their draws?
Me too.
Let's see. Unearth, Swamp, or Unmask. I'm sorry. 2 discs,
What
Drain Life, and I
is
think
that
another
draw?
Drain Life.
Why did you keep that draw? Is Disc that good in this matchup? That
Maybe.
like he kept a draw that
Unearths
does
are
not
good,
have
too.
access to a Necro.
I beat you too.
He has a couple Unmasked, a couple Discs, no Necropotence in this draw. This isn't the way the last couple games have gone. Should be a somewhat different game of character. I mean, Brian's had first Necro and play on the first turn 2 out of the 3 games.
True. Even the second game where it looked horrible for him, he still managed to win. So
Looked horrible.
yeah.
That one came a little slower. The Necro didn't come out right away.
Yeah. He mulliganed down to 6 cards, waited several turns for getting a Necropotence in play.
Go ahead. It's pretty big.
So at this point, I think he's waiting to draw Necropotence
Yeah.
before he unmasks.
I mean, some people will mulligan aggressively to try to get a Necropotence. They won't accept it for all of it without one unless it's perfect. His draw was decent. It was a nice mix of land and spells, but his spells are all expensive, and his deck is built to. His deck is built such that it only really works when Necro's in play. I mean, if your deck assumes Necro's going to be on the table, you have to mulligan for either Necro or console.
That's true. So even though he's kept the draw, though, should be okay as long as he
He's
can
got a
eventually
land.
draw into consult or.
Well, right
Or
now he
Necropotence.
needs a land. The reason he kept his draw was that it had 2 Unmasked and 2 Nevinyrral's discs.
Right.
And that doesn't help unless he draws land number 4. Of course, with only 24 land in his deck, the way he builds his mana base up is to have Necro and draw extra cards. The whole deck revolves around that card. Probably why they call it a Necro. All right, so Bob blesses a counterspell back into his deck, draws a card. His hand is Counterspell, Plow. I didn't get to see all of it. That was not a land. Brian drew Dystopia.
Go
It's
ahead.
not bad.
It's all right, but since he's already got the 2 discs, he really doesn't need more permanent
See, now
elimination.
he's giving Bob time to sort of set up shop. Bob's got a floodplain and a brainstorm. He's going to get to do some brainstorm fetch land tricks now. And he's given Bob plenty of time to set up.
Unmatch.
I mean, I'm not sure this draw was fast enough to keep.
Counterspell.
He just goes ahead and counterspells the Unmasked.
Go ahead.
Now he's going to brainstorm and
All right.
put the bad cards back on top. Shuffle, getting a land to play with floodplain. Oh, those are not the bad cards. I think Plow and Oath are the bad cards. He might put Wasteland back. All right, how much land does Bob have? Bob's going to keep 1 Wasteland. He can play Ivory Mask with Counterspell backup, can't he?
Certainly looks like it.
He's going to play Ivory Mask with Counterspell backup. But Brian has an Unmask and a Disc left, right?
Right. And he's still got 2 discs, so he could potentially cast one, just letting it get countered, and then cast the other one as
Oh, he
more
cannot
serious
unmask
threat.
while if Ivory Mask can play, he can't use his Unmask. So he casts a
true.
Disc. It gets Counterspelled because he can't use
Right,
the
so he's
Unmask.
going to have to cast both discs.
And he has to hope Bob doesn't draw permission. And Bob does have an impulse to go find permission with. Bob's pretty close to winning the Pro Tour. A Pro Tour that Brian Davis should be leading 3-0 right now.
It's tough to say that. He made some decisions
Yeah.
that were questionable.
The wasteland in the first game was pretty subtle. I think at this level, you should see that. But it's his first time at this level, so it's only the second game that seems really unfortunate. Boom.
There's the mask.
Go ahead.
So
All right, Brian's got it. He knows he's got to get disc in play. It can't use his unmasked to defend it. He's got to. Well, he has dystopia, so he has 3 ways to kill it. All right, so it's not quite as bad as I thought. Dystopia will kill it. He has 3 cards in his hand that can kill that unmasked. That Ivory Mask.
You
Can't
cannot.
do it.
can't.
You
Oh,
cannot.
that's right. Yeah.
Well, he just tipped 2 of the cards in his hand. Honest mistake, I guess, right? Can't have played many games of Magic with that card in play.
Well, he can probably burn through Bob's permission between the 2 discs and the dystopia. You should be able to get one of the 3 down.
Yeah, I believe that Bob has a counterspell and an impulse as the relevant cards.
Right.
I didn't see his draw. His counters. Wait, why doesn't he have a counterspell? He kept Oaths of Druids? Oh, he's supposed to impulse for the counter? I'm confused. He used the counter on the previous disc. He used the counter on the unmask. I apologize. Just seems like Bob always has all the right cards in his hands. At least eventually. So this is disc as a response, sack my floodplain, still as a response. Impulse, look for Force of Will. Doesn't have a blue card.
Got another
Force of Will wouldn't
impulse.
help.
So
But he needs to come up with Null Rod would win the game. If he came up with an Enlightened Tutor for Null Rod, the game would be over.
almost. He's still got dystopia.
Dystopia. There's Force. The impulses.
He really wants to
Aura.
protect it.
There's Aura.
That's going to be the
Takes Aura. and
card
not
that gets
more
rid of the disc. I wonder if Bob would be so aggressive with his impulsing if he knew that his efforts are about to be futile, that
Forest Silence.
there's much better chance that
Sure that does.
he'll be able to, that Davis will be able to get down the disc or dystopia and get rid of the mask.
I think I agree with Bob's play. I mean, it doesn't look like it's going to work, but there's another disc.
Yeah, he has to play it the way he's playing it. It's just, she's just falling right into the trap that Davis is sort of unknowingly setting.
But Davis kept this bizarre draw that had nothing but 4 mana spells, and Bob's trying to deal with them one at a time.
Every game that we've seen so far has had a different kind of beginning, middle, and end.
Mhm.
This one, no different.
Kind of fun.
All right. Yeah. Set up good. Good.
Yep, there goes the mask. That's pretty good for Brian. There's Counterspell. Bob has Counterspell and Force Will in his hand. He has how much land? He has enough mana in play to cast both on the same turn. He has 7 lands in play. I'm praying 4 of them produce 4.
Well, still trying to get the disc
There's
out.
another disc. That'll get what? Pay the 5 for Force of Will?
Yeah, looks like it.
Pay the 5 for Force of Will.
All right.
Yeah, he's got to do that.
Go ahead.
Bob really wants to make sure that disc doesn't get the table because
But
his
now the
eventual win is with either some combination of the enchantment locks or the creatures. And disc gets rid of both of those.
Absolutely. Well, Brian can now use his Unmask. Probably should, right?
I think
Bob
so.
has a Counterspell in hand.
He could try to persecute first.
Yeah, either way. Might be better. I mean, he can just pay for Unmask. At this point, they're both in top deck mode. And Brian knows he's got a handful of goodies. He just needs to cast them in the right order.
2 cards in. Yep.
I think I mean, he doesn't have anything he really wants to remove from the game. Seems like he should just pay 4 for either Persecute or Unmask. I think the only one that would be a mistake is the disc.
Yes.
Now he can't deal with Treetop Village. What is he saving Unmask and Persecute for?
I'm not sure. Probably Necropotence. He probably thinks that if he gets Necropotence down, he just wins. which
But he should be trying to win with the cards in his hand. I mean,
Yeah.
every time that Treetop Village hits him, he's down 3 cards once he gets Necro in play.
right. Yeah, Davis has been playing mostly as if he were playing his entire deck. It's given him some advantages strategically, but on the other hand, it's giving him some problems when he's drawing cards that need to be played a little bit differently than your deck would normally play them.
All right, now he's going to cast Unmask, and now there's nothing good in Bob's hand. He's looking at Unmask. He's looking at Persecute, trying to figure out what color he'd guess. He should have done this before. The disc was the best card in his hand.
Yeah.
And he just threw it out there to get counterspell.
Messy.
The Treetop Village is just going to come over for a while. I mean,
Now-
Brian's got no answer to Treetop Village, and there's actually 3 discs in his graveyard.
There's something interesting that Davis did just here. When he unmasked, he got the Oath of Druids. He knows the Oath of Druids is a completely dead card, but he knows that if he takes the Tropical, if this goes to a game 5, Maher
Can't
will
take Tropical.
probably
You're not
board
allowed
it
to
out.
take land.
Oh, unmask.
You're not allowed to take
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Actually, take land on that little.
Yeah, I think that'd be a little good if you could just take land out of somebody's opening draw.
Persecution having bully.
Just randomly take a shot.
That
There's
seems
light of day.
strange.
Bob has a number of dead cards for this matchup.
Right. He's got. I guess he could put it out. Well, there's no reason to. Either
But
way,
Bob has a Treetop Village. That might be good enough.
that looks like it is.
That'd be a bizarre away
Yeah,
from his
it's
match day.
Okay.
Targeting Ivory Mask.
It's kind of amazing, actually, that the disc isn't in play, considering that there were
Impulsive.
what 3 discs that he drew in
Yeah.
this game, and
He
not
blew-
a
yeah.
single one's come into play,
That is correct.
even though he's had multiple unmasks.
Ivory Mask, Impulse, and Impulse are being shuffled back to Maher's deck right now. Bob gets a random card off the top.
Well, the cards in Brian's hand, much like the cards in games 1, 2, and 3, the Drain Life and Corrupt combo, but he doesn't have Necropotence in play, so they really aren't doing much. He needs to draw Necropotence or probably Necropotence, Demonic Consultation, anything to get going on Necropotence. And soon. Or else that Treetop Village is going to eat him up. Is that a counterspell he drew or a brainstorm?
Village. Yeah. 11.
I didn't see it.
Go ahead.
Another Drain Life.
It's starting to get interesting. He's got 6 land in play. Davis 11, Maher 20. He's got 7 land. That's a drain for 5, a drain for 5, and a corrupt for 7. It's close, but not quite. He needs 1 more land, and then his hand can win. But Bob just top decks counterspell.
Right.
Rocky.
Seems like it would have been better to wait for 1 more land.
Yep.
Bob allows corrupt for 7. Falls to 14. Davis goes up to 18.
Yeah, if he had waited 1 more turn, he would have been able to. Hopefully, if he draws a land, he'd be able to win the
another
game with
Treetop
just those
Village.
3 spells. Then again, Bob's got a counterspell, so it's looking very much in Bob's favor.
Surprised that Bob still has as many creature removal spells in his deck as he does. He hasn't seen a Skittering Scourge the entire match.
Yeah.
Console? That's supposed to be a really good card.
Unfortunately, he's let go of all his unmasks, so he really doesn't have anything to clear out the counterspell in Bob's hand, so there's not much he can do.
Ah, this one he's actually going to cast.
That's it.
He says Necropotence. It's the right call, but
You're
going to get counterspell.
What?
Yeah, Brian accidentally flipped a card over when he picked his library up. He's received a warning for looking at an extra card. But that won't be a big deal. There's Necro. all the wastelands. How many wastelands got removed from the game right there?
Can I rearrange his out of game pile?
Bob asks if he's allowed to rearrange his out of
I
game
shouldn't
file.
turn on this roll.
Receives the answer no. Advises him. 2 wastelands have been removed from the game by that console.
That's pretty important.
Yep.
Okay.
Brian does still have Spitting Darkness in his deck, I believe. Necro, please? Pretty please? No. That's why they call it permission. All right, so now Brian's plan is to win with 2 Drain Lives. He doesn't have many turns with those treetop villages in play, but he doesn't need. It's like 1 Dark Ritual from pulling it off.
Yeah, I think that would do
Or
it.
2 land, or
But Maher's got the Swords Posture again, it looks like. Oh, no, that's a Sacred Ground. Oof.
all right. So those wastelands wouldn't have mattered much.
This is getting dangerous.
Yeah, he's gonna activate both of them.
So I think Davis needs to top deck some combination of swamps or rituals to win.
Davis takes 6.
Swamp
7,
here would
9.
be huge, and it's a swamp. So now the next turn, if he draws a swamp, he wins.
Does he have enough?
Yeah, he has exactly the amount. If he drops,
he
a
has to draw
swamp
swamp next turn.
That's right.
Swamp or ritual.
Yeah, I did the math on it. So he's 1
Drain
swamp
6.
away or ritual.
Yeah.
1 swamp away or ritual
Or
from a
corrupt.
game 5
Or
a corrupt.
Or another drain would allow him to win on the following turn.
Right. What
Thank you.
a demonic consultation would too, right?
Consult for ritual will do it if he does it.
Go ahead.
All right, Bob wants permission.
Okay, let's see.
Or
What does
Ivory Mask.
Bob draw?
Reflecting Hole.
That's not a counter
Not
spell.
counter. Smash. You're at 9.
It's at
Davis
9,
does have 2
so-
turns. Davis has 1 more
Yeah,
turn after
okay.
this one.
All right, let's take
He
a look.
draws. Ritual.
Oh, jeez. That was
He's gonna
exciting.
tap all his mana, right?
Let's see.
He can leave 1 untapped if he really wants to.
Bets, anybody? Anybody bets?
He should play around Disrupt. He can't play around Plow. He should play around Disrupt. But I don't see how he loses this, right?
No. Look at his face. Look at his face.
Again, we should be a little quiet.
He's thinking, okay, the last time we did this, he soared something.
He's
I
doing
saw
that.
Disrupt on the deck list. Well, how much
He
do...
saw Disrupt get removed from the game in game 2.
That's true. What do I do this for?
Ritual.
There it is.
Ritual. Confident.
All right.
I can do this.
How much you doing it for, my man?
I think I can. Plays around Disrupt.
Get the treetop village.
Oh, activate 3 times. 3-minute break. Then it's game 5. All right, welcome back. I'm Randy Bueller. I'm still here with Brian Hacker. We're ready for game 5. This ought to be fun. Brian Davis is trying to become the 3rd consecutive rookie to win Pro Tour Chicago. He's also trying to become the first person ever to win the finals 5-0.
That was rude. That was really, really rude. You know that? You know what? When he's up there with the trophy, I'm going to tell him you said that.
It would be an amazing accomplishment. Yeah, I mean,
It's a good game.
we can't think of someone who's come back from being down 0-2 in the finals. I know
To
it's
win
been done in the-
5-0? That's amazing, isn't it?
to win it all.
All right.
All right, let's see how the draws are.
Hope you're having as much fun out there as we are here. This has been crazy.
Ritual,
Oh,
no
jeez.
swamp. He cannot keep that.
Well,
Maher's hand is... Maher hasn't really had a good draw the entire match.
that might
Yeah, Brian Davis
qualify,
is already
actually.
starting the mulligan. What? How good is Maher's draw? What's he
Well,
got?
he's got an Aura Silence. It looks like he's got a counter spell. He's got some other white cards, so I think one of them's an Enlightened Tutor.
Duh. If he's got Enlightened, Compost, Aura...
Yeah, he has a. I think he had a. He had a Swords. Rumor has it that he went to the sideboard in between.
He has Compost in hand. Tundra, Tropical, Compost, Counterspell, Aura of Silence, Plow, and Light of Day.
Okay, so no
The
one.
Plow and the Light of Day are almost worthless.
Right.
All Plow does is gain life if he sacks his own creatures, and all Light of Day does is hold up Dystopia for a turn. But Bob didn't really have much in the sideboard for this matchup. He had the Compost, which is amazing, but which has only affected 1 game so far. But he was having trouble with cards. I think Some people think maybe you should have brought in Phyrexian Furnace just to cantrip off of it, rather than have some of these dead creature removal cards. Ritual Necro.
Oh, Lord. Unmask?
We're in for a good game.
Almost. Jeez.
There's no force in Bob's hand.
God.
Ritual Necro will hit the table before
I'm
Compost.
switching religions to whoever this guy prays to.
Unmask!
I swear to...
Good Lord! Please be quiet. Celebrate quietly.
If anybody out there knows who he prays to, let me know afterwards.
By the way, Maher just said that card must be a beating because he could hear us.
That's amazing.
Celebrate with gestures.
Oh my Lord.
He takes Compost, right?
Yeah.
He takes Compost, Rituals, Necro, and whatever. Counterspell doesn't beat Necro. Not after the Necro's in play. Counterspell only beats the Skull if the Skull doesn't get into play.
Yep.
Bob says, yup. Wow.
Bob's got to start grinding in now, much like he did game 1. Hope he can...
Bob used to have a good draw. Davis sets aside 5 cards. Going down to 15. There's an Unmask and a Corrupt. 2 Wastelands is pretty good.
Yeah, it's really good. Especially, yeah, it's really, really important, I think, to
Bob draws
stunt
another
Bob's-
Counterspell. That doesn't do anything.
Bob's
Bob
mana
has
draw.
Bob has no land in his hand, right?
I think he has 1 left. I could be
Yeah,
wrong, though.
Just waste.
Let's see. Let's look at his hand.
I don't
Is
see
that
any
one on
land
the
in his
side?
hand.
There? Is that one, right?
Counterspell on the left edge.
Okay, yeah, he looks out of mana.
Davis takes 2 cards down to 13.
This looks kind of akin to Dave Price versus Ben Rubin in the finals of LA, where there was just no permanence in play.
Over Necros by 1. Discards anything but Wasteland. Please don't discard Wasteland. Bob draws. Not lands. Oh. Bang. Bob has no permanence in play. He only needs 1 card here. Maybe 2. 1 card's fine.
Go ahead.
There's Force of Will. I would go ahead and unmask just to see what's up and make room in my hand for more cards. And Brian's playing correctly. I agree with
Especially
this.
with the Necro in hand. He can do it almost at no cost.
Right. Take Force of Will.
Jeez.
Look at that hand. How good would that hand be if Bob had to land?
Hope you don't get too land.
Well, and Brian didn't have Necro on the table.
Sure, look at waste.
That Wasteland card's pretty good. Takes Force of Will, right?
For those of you that were in LA, you can remember Ben Rubin in the 5th game after a very exciting final, much like this, lost to Dave Price. Dave Price drawing like 2 or 3 Wastelands in that final game. This seems very similar,
He
where
take
it's just
Counterspell?
not much you can do.
Why did he take Counterspell?
I have absolutely no idea.
He wants him to force something?
I guess.
Take 1. Draw some land. That's all he needs. He just wants land.
Yeah.
For now. He just wants to build land up so he can unload. What is it? Drain, Corrupt? Bob still
Maher
doesn't
didn't
draw land. He's got 3 drains and a Corrupt. It's just a matter of building up to 6 land and hoping Bob doesn't top deck too much.
Is he going to consult?
What would he consult for?
Okay, no, he didn't consult. All right. I guess at this point, there is no reason to take any chances.
I mean, if he doesn't draw lands, eventually he should consult for Swamp. But all right, there's Floodplain.
Davis must think this game's going to last for a while, that he would need to take Counterspell over Force of Will.
Yeah, that surprises me. Seems like he'd take Force of Will.
I guess he's thinking that Bob's going to draw into land.
Another wasteland.
Wasteland. That card seems okay.
Yeah, it's a little
That's not a
harder to
land.
use the wasteland.
All right, discard light a day. Yeah, I mean the fact that the floodplain untapped, you can't waste it. But
Right.
whenever you get around to it, Bob, I'm ready for you.
Shinto, Buddhist, whatever. Just let me know.
Yes, he worships at the altar of Torah.
Yeah.
You can talk all you want about that Yawgmoth guy, but my money's still on Torah.
No.
Don't waste the floodplain.
Well, this is going to get interesting. I mean, Bob has at least one counterspell.
Yep. You should waste Tundra.
If you waste the Tundra, you can't counterspell.
Right.
But he's got to draw.
Taps it for mana. Oh, he's got Impulse in hand.
Right. So he should
still has
be
that
able
Force
to
Will,
get
too.
the counterspells off.
Well, he's going to Impulse and then have Force of Will up. Yeah, declare an attack phase. There you go. First attack phase of the match for him. I hate creatures.
Just remember, this is actually far from over. Remember
Yeah,
the
it's game's-
comeback that Bob
Yes.
made game one.
It's very true. Bob did have land in game one, to be fair.
Impulse.
Dolly had, but
Okay, should be able to find at least
a land?
a land here. And
Yep.
he does.
Yeah, it takes Tropical Island. Drain you for 3. That's fine.
Cards in your hand. 5.
Bob has Force of Will,
Force of Will.
and he's going to use it. Bob figures that the only way he can win this game is if Davis doesn't have many more drains. He has to hope that Davis will accidentally Necrolock himself. Of course, we know that Davis has
Well, he's
20.
also. I mean, it's also more reasonable because Maher does have counterspells that he's going to be able to cast next turn.
Well, except, of course, he's going to get Ritual Persecuted.
Well, that's
Yeah, I know. That's going to get counterspelled. Forbid. Can he counter all those drains?
not. He's got to counter the persecute first.
True.
But it's
Assuming
it's slow
Davis
here.
casts
He will
the
be able to
Persecute
counter some
first.
stuff. If he draws into a land, I don't think Bob is out of this match at
All
all.
right. Now, if Davis had duressed that Force of Will way back 4 turns ago, he'd have more life right now.
Right. And
Because he would have had a Drain Resolve, and so he'd have more cards.
so theoretically, he'd be able to draw
This
into
would
more
just be
land.
Persecute.
No doubt about that.
Persecute. Knock a counterspell out of your hand. Draw a
So
card.
Bob really needs to draw a land to get Forbid up. That is extremely key.
Yep.
All right.
Bob
all
has
you Bob
Forbid.
Maher fans, be rooting for Bob to top deck the
Yeah,
land.
he needs this to be a land.
Because really what Davis is mostly drawing is mostly irrelevant because it's just going to be drain for a little while.
Davis would have liked to gotten a land right there.
Right. That would have been helpful because then it
Draw?
could corrupt.
Brainstorm. That's not good
Well,
enough. He has to find
he has
Force of Will.
A Forbid. Yeah, he needs to brainstorm, hoping he can find
Yeah,
a
he's gonna-
counterspell in the land.
He's going to Brainstorm main phase. Try to get a land into play. That's Force of Will.
Ooh,
Force of Will, Brainstorm, Disrupt.
that's a good draw.
Disrupt could be relevant.
The only problem is he doesn't have another land, so he's going to have to sift through some draws.
Oh, you're right.
Now the thing
Disrupt
is,
might
will
help.
Davis
Open
is
himself
a
up to
little
Disrupt.
pinched on life, so he probably actually will drain life
Risk
him for the
Disrupt.
maximum. So the disrupt may end up going on.
Does
Let's
he
see.
risk Disrupt?
Yeah,
Yes.
he does.
Boom! Wow. There's the Disrupt card. Still, this is not a land. We know this from before.
Right.
It does have another Brainstorm in his hand, though. Does this Brainstorm? If this is a land and a counterspell, it's an Enlightened Tutor, a Force of Will, and a Brainstorm.
That is an amazing brainstorm.
How many
That
blue cards does he
is
have for those
an
Force of Wills? In his hand?
amazing brainstorm.
He has 2 Force of Wills and 2 blue cards.
That is
All Davis has is a consult, right?
absolutely amazing.
And a corrupt. Is this over?
It's getting real close to being over.
He's got 2 Force of Wills against a corrupt and a drain. How,
Maher coming back.
is Bob going to pull this off?
Yeah, I think so. It looks favorable, actually.
Davis looks Necrolock. Bob figured his only plan was to try to Necrolock Davis. Bob said, sorry, Brian, I got to try to Necrolock you. I got to hope I draw a counterspell for every drain you've got. And he might pull it off. I think he has. All right, how many blue cards was he able to keep in his hand after resolving the brainstorm?
Oh, geez. Is he going to cast that drain? He is, and that's going to leave him with only the corrupt.
What's the one removing forbid?
What?
That leaves him with only corrupt.
What?
So he's going to have to use the consult on a swamp.
But he's like 2
He
turns
ritualed
away
the
from
drain?
Yeah, this is just horrendous. Like, I think this game's over.
What does he tutor for?
The mask, I think.
He's only got 2 land. So if he ritual
Or he
corrupts,
can't cast a mask. Excuse me. He doesn't
He
have
only
that
has
many
2
lands.
lands.
Yeah, the
If he goes
Sylvan's
ritual-
good.
Yeah,
if he goes
Sylvan's
ritual-
really good.
if he goes ritual corrupt, then he still has a drain life and a consult in his hand.
Right. Yeah, essentially he just wasted a turn because now he has to
Consult for
consult
swamp.
for a
No,
swamp.
it's more than a turn. He wasted a potential drain life.
Yeah.
Before
Okay.
he would lose to 3 counters. Now he
Right.
loses to 2, and Bob had 2.
Right.
So,
He has to consult for swamp, corrupt, and Bob has Force of Will in his
Right.
hand.
That's right. And that,
And a
that
blue card, it's
consult
over.
could have been another one. Yeah, you're
It's
right.
over. If he'd gone ritual corrupt, he would still have a chance.
Yeah, this game is,
I mean, I don't know if he would win, but he had a chance.
and Bob's gonna have a land on the top 3 because he's the great one.
He said, "Go."
am I at 18?
There's the land.
Bob asks, "What am I at? 18? How many cards does he Sylvan for?"
All right, Bob Maher.
You know, there
fans.
is one way that Brian could get back in this. He could spin Treetop Village and gain 3 life.
Go ahead.
He's still got a shot. He can spin Treetop Village and gain 3 life. Bob has to attack him eventually, right? Otherwise, Brian decks him. Abundance.
6.
Swamp. He consulted for Swamp, which is the right call.
Now,
Now he's going to untap and corrupt, and Bob's going to force a will it. Then he's probably going to concede. But
Oh, jeez.
Brian will probably concede rather than wait to spin Treetop Village.
Yeah. What's the will?
That's it. Bob Maher wins the Pro Tour.